speciality of Bhakti Yoga, how Krishna emphasizes on Bhakti in the last 2 verses. So let us recite with the prayers. All of you can repeat after me. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya.
Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale.
Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta.
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta.
Swamin iti namine.
Swamin iti namine.
Namaste Saraswate Deve.
Namaste Saraswate Devi.
Gauravani Pracharine.
Gauravani Pracharane.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Paschatya Deshatarine.
Chatadesa Dharane.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadara.
Shri Advaita Gadadara.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
So Arjuna had put a question to Krishna, asking him to show the 4-armed form, and he wanted to show the 2-armed form, Saumya Vapahu also. So based on that, now Lord Krishna is responding to that. All of you can recite the verse. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam.
Maya Prasannena Tava Junedam.
Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yogat.
Rupam Param Dasmitam Atma Yogat.
Tejomayam Vishwamanantamadyam.
Tejomayam Vishwamanantamadyam.
Yanme Tvadanyena Nadrushta Purvam.
Yanme Tvadanvena Nadrushta Purvam.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Maya Prasannena Tavarjunedam.
Maya Prasannena Tavachanedam.
Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yogat.
Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yogat.
Tejomayam Vishwamanantamadyam.
Tejomayam
Tejomayam
Vishwamanantamadyam.
Vishwamanantamadyam.
Yanme Tvadanyena Nadrushta Purvam.
Yanme
Tadanyena Nadrushtam Purvam.
So here Lord Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Maya Prasannena Tavarjuna Idam. So I am very much satisfied, O Arjuna, by your request. Rupam Param, Param Rupam, that divine form, Darshitam, I am going to show Atma Yoga out of my internal potency. That form is Tejomayam Vishwam Ananta Madhyam. That is the entirety of universe, which is unlimited, and that is the original. Yanme Tvadanyena, nobody has earlier, na Drushta Purvam, had seen that particular form, which I am going to show to you. The same thing, the Blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, hey Arjuna, happily do I show you this universal form. Prasannena maya me tava idam vishwarupam darshitam. Within the material world, by internal potency, Atma Yogat. And no one has before you has ever seen this unlimited and glaringly effulgent form. Tvadanyena na drushta purvam tejomayam adhyam anantam yat param. That form which nobody has ever seen. So that is the first time Krishna is showing this universal form of this full scale specifically to Arjuna. That's what we understand here. So what is the unique thing about this universal form shown to Arjuna? So universal form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency. So which is inconceivable by human speculation. And no one had seen this universal form before Arjuna. But because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets, in other planets, could also see it. All pure devotees across the universe, they were able to have darshan of that universal form. So all the disciplic devotees of the Lord could see the universal form which was shown to Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. So Krishna manifested some of his universal form at other times, but those forms are different from the one that is shown to Arjuna. This form has many aspects. So that's why this is the complete universal form. Others were partial representation of aspects of universal form only. 2 times he had shown to Yashoda Maya. 1 time he had shown in the assembly of Dhritarashtra. 4th one is here to Arjuna. So next, all of you can recite. Naveda yajna adhyayanair nanadhaner.
Naveda yajna adhyayanair
Nacha kriyabhir natapobhir ugraihi. Evam rupa sakya aham nrloke.
Evam rupa sakya aham nrloke.
Drashtum tvadannena kuru pravira.
Drashtam tattvena kuru pravira.
Naveda yajna adhyayanair nadhaner.
Naveda yajna adhyayanair nadhaner.
Nacha kriyabhir natapobhir ugraihi.
Nacha kriyabhir natapobhir ugraihi.
Evam rupa sakya aham nrloke.
Evam rupa sakya aham nrloke.
Drashtum tvadannena kuru pravira.
Drashtam tattvena kuru pravira.
So na Veda yajna adhyayanair na dhaner. So neither by studying Vedas or performing sacrifices nor by doing charity. Nacha kriyabhir na tapobhir ugraihi. Nor by performing severe austerities or by pious activities. Kriyabhir. Evam rupam. This form sakya aham nrloke. In this material world can be seen. Sakyaha. Drashtum tvadanyena. Except you, Kuru Pravira, nobody has ever seen that form. That's what Krishna is saying. So, O best of the Kuru warriors, hey Kuru Pravira, evam rupam aham tvadanyena nrloke dastum sakyaha. No one before you has seen this universal form of mine. Na Veda yajna adhyayanaihi, neither by studying the Vedas nor by performing sacrifices. Na dhaner, na kriyabhi, na cha ugrai tapobhihi. Either by charity or kriyabhihi or by pious activities or by severe penances. Only you have seen this. Except you, nobody else has seen this specific activity is mentioned here. So who can have divine vision? So divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. So it is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. So demoniac people decry Krishna because they think he is a competitor. So one cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. So was the description of universal form known to others before Arjuna? So Bhagavad Gita gives the description of universal form. Although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna, now one can have some idea of the Vishwarupa after this incident. So this is a form which was specifically tailor-made to Arjuna. So after this, everybody were able to have some idea what is that universal form means. So are the devotees interested in seeing this universal form of the Lord? The devotees in the divine nature who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord because it is not having that pleasure and affection in that form. It is a fearful form. So devotees are not keen on seeing that fearful form of the Lord. So by undergoing tapasya, can one have darshan of the universal form? So tapasya means to voluntarily accept some suffering. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. So those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form. But Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. They are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. It is specifically prerogative of the devotees only that they are able to see this universal form of the Lord. Similarly, there is a quotation in Bhagavatam, Uddhava Gita, where Krishna says, Dharmaha satya udayopeta vidyava tapasanvita mad bhaktya apetam atmanam na samyak prapunatihi. So dharma by following religious principles, satya adayopeta with honesty and mercy, vidya va tapasanvita either by knowledge obtained by great penance, mad bhaktya ipetam atmanam na samyak prapnoti, can completely purify one consciousness if they are bereft or loving service to me. So all these things cannot purify a person. Only a person engaged in loving devotional service can be purified. It is clearly mentioned here. So how can one attain perfect spiritual knowledge? So there are many persons who create incarnations and they falsely claim an ordinary human being to be an incarnation. This is all foolishness. So we should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. But Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study, but still it is so perfect, it enables one to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. A devotee cannot accept any false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. So perfect knowledge can be obtained only by understanding Bhagavad Gita in the mood of a devotee. So there was one devotee of Lord Krishna and a friend called as Uttanka. So he, after the war was over, when Krishna was going back to Dwaraka, Uttanka met him in somewhere in the Rajasthan part. So there he criticizes Krishna. I know you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still you could have avoided the war. So many people, so many crores and lakhs of people have died. So if you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, you could have avoided the war and you could have done the solution easily. But still, I doubt you are a Supreme Personality of Godhead. You could not do that war, and you personally see that war was executed and so many people were unnecessarily killed for this purpose of Pandavas becoming the king. So after blaspheming the Lord in such a way that in a friendly manner or in a inquiry manner, so Lord Krishna said, no, I tried my duty. I even shown the universal form to Duryodhana party also, but still they did not accept it. Duryodhana commented that I was a magician. So I even shown the universal form in the battlefield. I have predicted what will be the outcome of the war. Like that, Krishna had explained what had transpired and how this war was unavoidable. So then Uttanka requested Lord Krishna to also show that universal form. So when Lord Krishna showed that universal form, Uttanka paid obeisance, yes, and he accepted, yes, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whatever decision you have taken is the absolute decision. So this is the fifth time where Lord Krishna showed universal form. This is specifically to Uttanka Rishi. And he blesses him wherever, because they were in the desert part, when he desires, he will be able to get water. That's why Uttanka was blessed with a boon wherever he wants. By his desire, he will be able to generate water there. Okay. Next verse, all of you can recite. Mate vyatama cha vimooda bhavo. Društva rupam goramidranmamedam. Vyapeta vipritamana punastvam. Tadeva me rupamidam prapasya. Mate vyatama cha vimooda bhavo. Društva rupam goramidranmamedam. Vyapeta vipritamana punastvam. Tadeva me rupamidam prapasya. So he's saying, Mate vyata macha vimooda bhavaha. So do not keep any trouble in this. Cha and bewilderment. Vimooda bhavaha. Moodaha means bewildered person. Društva rupam, by seeing this form, which is goram, horrible. Idran mama idam, like that universal form. Vyapeta bihi, you have become free from all fear. Prita manaha, be pleased in mind. Punastvam, so that your consciousness be situated. Because as soon as Arjuna saw the universal form, he became disturbed in his consciousness. Tadeva me rupamidam prapasya. Now I am going to show my form which you desire to see. So Krishna is saying, your mind has been perturbed upon seeing this horrible future of mine. Idrak gauram mama idam rupam drustvate vimuda bhavascha. Now let it be finished. Vyatama. My devotee, free from all disturbance. Tvam vyapeta bihi. With a peaceful mind, you can see now the form you desire. Prita manascha punah me idam tadeva rupam prapasya. So you have proposed to see that four-armed form. Now be peaceful. Now you will be able to see that four-armed form. So here, why were Bhishma and Drona to be killed? Because they are all noble souls. They are great personalities. So one specific reason it is mentioned here, when the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. So here clearly it is mentioned, if a wrong is happening in front of the rice, if you do not obstruct that wrong, you are encouraging that subject. That's why you have become liable for that punishment. Then why did Krishna show this universal form to Arjuna? So that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. Arjuna wanted to avoid fighting and he wanted to protect these people. But Krishna is saying, I have already killed them. Now, this one was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. So why are devotees not interested in universal form? Because it does not enable one to reciprocate one's feelings, loving feelings with the Lord. So devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipable feelings, or he wants to see that Krishna's form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Lord. That personal form, personal touch is the one which is missing in this universal form. That's why devotees are not keen or not interested in this universal form. The next verse. Sanjaya Vacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha
Iti Arjunam Vasudevastatoktva.
Iti Arjuna
Tvakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyaha. Ashvashayamasa Chabitamenam. Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma. Sanjaya Uvacha. Iti Arjunam Vasudevastatoktva. Tvakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyaha. Ashvashamasa Chabitamenam. Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma. So Sanjaya Vacha, now the scene is shifting back to Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya is saying, Iti Arjunam Vasudeva Statoktva. So after the discussion between Arjuna and Vasudeva, Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyaha. He showed the four-armed form because Arjuna desired to see that specific form. Asvashayamasa cha bhitamenam. After his fearful thing is gone, Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma. He again showed the Saumya Vapuhu, the two-armed form, the Mahatma, the great Lord Krishna shown to Arjuna. So Sanjaya is explaining to Dhritarashtra. So the Supreme Lord Mahatma, Krishna, so while thus speaking to Arjuna, Vasudeva iti uktva bhuyaha Arjunam, displayed his real four-armed form, Bhutva tata Saumya Vapuhu. And at last he showed him his two-armed form, Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa. Thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna, Punah Pita Menam Asvashayamasa cha. Asvasha means to give confidence, to give encouragement, to give support to him, so that his fearfulness can go away. So first he showed that universal form, then he showed the four-armed form, then he finally showed the two-armed form. So the significance of Saumya Vapuhu, it is a very beautiful form. and it is known as the most beautiful form. So when Lord was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. So quoting from reference Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Lord Krishna. Not everyone and anyone will be able to have darshan of that beautiful form. In one letter, Prabhupada says, your second question, why did Arjuna ask Krishna to go to his four-armed form rather than to his two-armed form after Krishna had shown Arjuna his Vishwarupa? Because he understood that Krishna is the original Narayana. After seeing Vishwarupa, Arjuna was accustomed to see Krishna with two hands. But when he saw the Vishwarupa, he understood him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such he requested him to revert to the original form of Narayana. Then Krishna, after showing him the Narayana form, again to revert to his original Krishna form. Krishna explained that Narayana form is not original, but Krishna's form in two hands is the original, and even the demigods desire to see this form. See, we have to understand why did Arjuna ask this specific question. In the 10th chapter, last verses, Krishna said that he is the controller of all spiritual and material worlds. He has expanded, he has pervaded all of these material and spiritual worlds. So now Arjuna wants to see how he is pervaded in this material world, how he is pervaded in the Vaikuntha, how he is pervaded in the Goloka Vrindavana. So the universal form is how he is pervaded in this material world. The four-armed form is how he is pervaded in the Vaikuntha. And the two-armed form is how he is pervaded in Goloka Vrindavana. That's why these three things have shown based on the Krishna's word that he is pervading all material and spiritual worlds. All of you can recite the next verse. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Drusvedam Manusham Rupam
Drusvedam Manusham Rupam
Tava Saumyam Janardana
Tava Saumyam Janardana
Idanimasmi Samvrtaha
Idanimasmi Samvrtaha
Sacheta Prakritim Gata
Sacheta Prakritim Gata
Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Drusvedam Manusham Rupam
Drusvedam Manusham Rupam
Tava Saumyam Janardana
Tava Saumyam Janardana
Idanimasmi Samvrtaha
Idanimasmi Samvrtaha
Sacheta Prakritim Gata.
Sacheta Prakritim Gata.
So after seeing the two-armed form, Arjuna reciprocated. Arjuna said, Drustva idam manusham rupam, by seeing this form, which is like a human-like form, Tava Saumyam Janardana, which is the most beautiful form, O Janardana. Idanim asmi samvrataha, I have been settled, my mind, which was very disturbed, fearful, has become settled. Idanim asmi samvrataha, sachetaha, the mind, my consciousness, prakritim gataha, has gone to its original state. So when Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, Hey Janardana, seeing this human-like form, Tava idam manusham rupam drustva idanim, so very beautiful, Saumyam. Now my mind is now pacified. Sachetaha samvrittaha. And I am restored to my original nature. Prakritim cha gatah asmi. So Manusham Rupam clearly indicates Supreme Lord to be originally two-handed form. So what is the greatest injustice one can do and how pure devotees are unaffected? Thinking that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Like analogy, the original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators. So a pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is the real truth. So in one purport, Prabhupada explains, the bhaktas know that the Supreme Person has no material form, whereas the jnanis simply deny the material form. So one should therefore take shelter of the bhakti marga, the path of devotion. Then everything will be clear. Jnanis concentrate on the Virat Rupa. This is a good system in the beginning for those who are extremely materialistic. But there is no need to think continuously of the Virat Rupa. When Arjuna was shown the Virat Rupa, he saw it, but he did not want to see it perpetually. He therefore requested Krishna to return to his original form as two-armed Krishna. Like there is one shloka from Bhagavatam 7th canto. Yuyam nruloke bhatabhuri bhaga lokam punana munayo abhiyanti esham grahan avasatiti sakshat Gudam Param Brahma Manushya Lingam. This is a verse spoken by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he is saying, my dear Yudhishthira, you Pandavas, you are so fortunate. Bhatabhuri Bhagaha. Within this material world, Drilake, Lokam Punana Munayaha. There are great sages who can purify all the planets of the universe. Abhiyanti, they come to your house just like ordinary visitors. Esham Grahan, furthermore, Sakshat Parabrahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Esham Grahan Avasatiti Gaudam, he is confidentially staying within you in your house, just like your brother Manushya Lingam. So Narad Muni was speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas that Krishna is that Sakshat Parabrahma, but he is like a human form he is staying, but it is the most confidential aspect.
Does not appear or disappear. Krishna is always present. But we see at a certain period. Just like the sun. Sun is always in the sky. But when it is daytime, we see. At night time, we cannot see. At night time, because we cannot see, it does not mean there is no sun. It is our imperfectness of eyes we cannot see. Similarly, Krishna is always present. One who has got eyes, he can see. Or the circumstances favorable, he can see. Krishna is always. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayesu vilokayana. Jnanavastita tadgatena manasa passanti jana yogi. So Krishna can be seen always if we have got eyes to see. That eyes, how can we transfer? Premanjana churita. When it is smeared with the ointment of love, then with his eyes you can see Krishna. Krishna is always there. Ishara sarvutana viddeshodjana tishtati. He is a present everywhere. Annantarastham paramanu chayantarastham. Krishna is not absent. Krishna is always there. We haven't got eyes to see. So we have to prepare the eyes. Sarvapadhi vinirmuktam tatparastena nirmalam. When you make your eyes nirmal, when you give up all these titular designations, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian, I am American, I am Indian, I am black, I am white. These are all designations. When you become Brahma Bhuta, Prasanna, I am nothing of this. I am eternal servant of Krishna. When you come to this consciousness, Krishna is always there. A devotee is saying factual Krishna, and non-devotee is saying a bat's door. Yes. Krishna is here. Why they say, where is your Krishna? Here is Krishna, just like Hiranyakasipu challenged Prahlad Maharaj. Where is your Krishna? All right, let me kill you. Let your God come and protect you. So the atheist class, they say like that. But one who has got training in Krishna consciousness, he has got eyes to see Krishna always. If here is not Krishna, then all the acharyas, they install deity in so many millions of temples. They are all fools and rascals. They ask her to worship some stone and wood. No, Krishna is there, but we haven't got eyes to see. There is difference. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he saw Jagannath at Puri, Jagannath immediately fainted. Here is my Lord, fainted. So we have to create that eyes to see Krishna. That will be done gradually. Sevan mukhihi jivhado sayameva spurtada. We cannot see Krishna. We cannot command Krishna, please come here, I will see you. No. He will reveal himself, being satisfied with your service. Here I am. You see me now. So we have to wait for that revelation, not by force. Force will not act. Krishna is not our order supplier, servant. Krishna, please come here, I will see. No, that is not good. He must be submissive, first of all surrender, he follow the rules and regulations, be made after Krishna, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Govinda Virahena. Sunnayate jagat sarvam Govinda Virahena me. Sunnayitam jagat sarvam. Everything is vacant. Because I cannot see Govinda. Just like if one's beloved son dies, he sees everything vacant. He no more sees that cars are running on the street or people are running. No, he sees everything vacant. Why? Due to love. Similarly, when we come to that position, we shall see everything vacant without Krishna. Then that is the proper position to see Krishna. Sunnayitam jagat sarvam Govinda Virahena me. Lord Chaitanya says that I am not a devotee of Krishna. Rather, you are crying always for Krishna. That is simply to show, make a show that I am a great devotee of Krishna. Then, now, how we can understand that you are not? We know here. No, because I am still living without Krishna. That means I have no love for Krishna. I should have died long, long ago. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. So, this much ecstasy, this much eagerness, when we come, then we can see always. Primanjana Charita Bhakti Vila Santa Sadaiva, 24 hours, we can see Krishna.
Okay, next verse. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sudurdarsham idam rupam
Sudurkastamidam Rupam
Drushtavanasi yanmama
Drishtavanasi Yanmama
Deva apiyasya rupasya
Deva Apyasya Rupasya
Nityam Darshana Kamshinaha.
Nityam
Darshan
Darshan
Kamchinaha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sudurdarsham idam rupam
Sudurkastamidam Rupam
Drushtavanasi yanmama
Drishtavanasi Yanmama
Mama
Deva apiyasya rupasya
Deva Apyasya
Apyasya Rupasya
Nityam Darshana Kamshinaha.
Nityam
Darshana
Darshana
Kamshinaha.
So Lord Krishna is replying to Arjuna, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Sudur Darsham idam rupam. That form, what you are saying, it is very rare for a person to see this form. Dristva nasi yan mama. You are able to see this specific form, which is very rare. Deva apyasya rupasya. Even demigods, they specifically Nityam Darshana Kamshana, they are eternally hankering to see the Darshana Kamshana. They are eternally hankering to have this darshan of that form, of the two-armed form, which was shown to you specifically. So the Blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, the form which you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Yat rupam mama idam drishtavanasi sudur darsham. Even the demigods are ever seeking opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. Deva api nityam asya rupam darshana kamshinaha. They are all akamshinaha. They are all aspiring to see this specific form. So here the specific word Sudur Darshan is used. So indicating Krishna's two-armed form is still more confidential. So one may be able to see universal form by adding a little tinge of devotion service to various activities like penance, Vedic study and philosophical speculation. But without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see the two-armed form of Krishna. So how can transcendentalists see Krishna? The transcendentalists, by continuous Krishna consciousness, by devotion service to Krishna, can have their spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna. The conclusion is that to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult. and not possible to everyone and anyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundara. So how do different people think of Krishna? So for one who is using a material process, Krishna is considered to be a great historical personality and very learned philosopher. Some people think he was so powerful that he had to accept a material body. Ultimately, they think absolute truth is impersonal. They think that impersonal future has assumed a personal future. Avajanantimam Mudam Manushim Tanum Ashritam 9.10, 9.11. So those who are in search of knowledge also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form. So some think that the universal form which was manifested is more important because Arjuna was given the divine eyes. Two-armed form was given normally. So that divine eyes means universal form is something special. And they also think that personal form is something imaginary, because when there is a form, there is a problem, there is senses, diversion, everything and all. There is no problem, no senses, no problem. No form, no problem. This is their foolish understanding. So, on devotee. Srila Prabhupada, you are seeing Krishna at every moment. Does this mean you are seeing Krishna in the two-armed form, playing the flute at every moment? Prabhupada, what do you think? Devotee, I don't know. Then Prabhupada, seeing means Krishna as he is, that's all. Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokyanti. You never read Brahma Samhita. Devotee, yes. Prabhupada. Brahma Samhita it is said, Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokyanti. Those who are saintly persons, they always see Krishna Sada Eva Hridayeshu. Always within their heart, they will be able to see Lord Krishna. Everyone can see if he tries. Why you and me? Everyone can see. Krishna is open to everyone. But he is not open to the rascals. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. That is Krishna's distinguish. He is open to everyone, but not to all others, only to the devotees. There is a Yogamaya cutting. Then devotee. And the pure devotee, does he see Paramatma future or does he see Prabhupada? When you see Krishna, you see Paramatma, Brahman, everything. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdhyati. If you see, just like when you see the sun, you also see sunlight. We see the sun globe simultaneously, light also. Nobody says, I am seeing the sun, but not the sunshine. He is seeing everything. So devotee. But does he focus his mind upon the two-armed form? Prabhupada. There is no question of focus or no focus. One who sees Krishna, he sees everything. Yasmin vijnate sarvam evam vijnatam bhavati. There is no question of imagination, and this is fact. So next. Naham veder na tapasa.
Naham veder na tapasa.
Na dhane na cha chejaya.
Na dhane na cha chejaya.
Sakya evam vido drastum.
Sakya
evam vido drashtum.
Drastvanasi mam yata.
Drashvam yata.
Naham veder na tapasa.
Naham veder na tapasa.
Na dhane na cha ichaya.
Na dhane na chejaya.
Sakya evam vido drastum.
Sakya evam vido drashtam.
Drastvanasi mam yata.
Drashvanasi mam yata.
So na aham veder na tapasa, by studying the Vedas nor by engaging in tapasya. Na dhanena na cha ijaya, nor by worship nor by giving charity. Sakya evam vido drashtum, to see if it is possible to have the darshan of the Lord. Drashtavan asi mam yata, as you are able to see me right now. So it is said, the form which you are seeing with your transcendental eyes, yata mam drashtavanasi evam vidaha, cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, na vedai, nor by undergoing serious penances, na tapasa, nor by charity, nor by worship, na dhanena, na cha ijaya. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Aham drashtum sakyaha. So Krishna appeared before his parents in a four-armed form. Then he transformed himself into the two-armed form. So this mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists or who are devoid of devotional service. For scholars who have studied Vedic literature by way of speculation or out of mere academic interest, Krishna is not easy to be understood, nor easy to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple to offer worship. Krishna can only be understood through the path of devotion service, as explained by Krishna in the next verse. So again in Uddhava Gita, Krishna says, Yamna yogena sankhena dana vrata tapo advaraihi vyakya swadhyaya sannyasai prapnuyad yatnavanapi. So na yamna yogena by yoga system, sankhena by philosophical speculation, dhana by charity, vrata by vows, tapaha by penances, advaraihi by ritualistic sacrifices, vyakya by writing commentaries, swadhyaya by studying Vedic mantras, sannyasi or by accepting renounced order of life, prapnayad yatnavan api. One can still cannot achieve prapna api. Yatnavan, one who is endeavoring to achieve me cannot achieve me. Na prapnayad. So then one more passage says, Na sadayati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma uddhava, na swadhyaya tapos tyago, yata bhaktir mamorchita. So na sadayati mam yogo, one cannot achieve me by Ashtanga yoga. Na sankyam, na philosophical speculation or analytical study. O dharma uddhava, or by swadhyaya, I study of the Vedas, or acceptance of tyagaha, tapaha, or by acceptance of sannyasa, or by charity, or yata bhaktir mamorchita. Can one satisfy me, sadayati mam, as much as by engaging in unalloyed devotion service, yata bhaktir mamorchita. So other processes cannot satisfy the Lord as one engages in devotion service. One important verse again we see here. All of you can recite. Bhaktyatu ananyaya sakya.
Bhaktyatu ananya sakya.
Aham evam vido Arjuna.
Aham evam vido Arjuna.
Natum drashtum cha tatvena.
Jnatum drishtum cha tatvena.
Praveshtum prata parantapa.
Pravesham cha parantapa.
Bhaktyatu ananyaya sakya.
Bhaktyatu ananya sakya.
Aham evam vido Arjuna.
Aham evam vido
Arjuna.
Jnatum drashtum cha tatvena.
Jnatum drashtum cha tatvena.
Praveshtum cha parantapa.
Praveshtum cha parantapa.
So Bhaktyatu Ananya Sakya, it is possible only by Ananya Bhakti, unalloyed devotion service. Aham evam vido Arjuna. You can understand me as I am. Aham evam. Jnatum, to know, to understand. Drashtum, to see. Cha tatvena, in truth. Praveshtum cha parantapa. O Arjuna, O Parantapa, to enter into my mysteries and my pastimes, only by unalloyed devotion service one can understand and see and enter into the mysteries of the pastimes of the Lord. So my dear Arjuna, hey Parantapa, Arjuna, only by undivided devotion service, Ananya to Bhaktya, can I be understood as I am. Aham Vedaha Jnatum. Standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Aham Tatvena Drashtum. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Praveshtum cha sakyaha. Only by unalloyed devotion service one can understand the Lord, enter into his mysteries, not by any other way. So what is difficulty to understand about Krishna? So how he came, how he had transformed from his four-armed form and changed himself into two-armed form. So how can one understand Krishna? Very experienced students can learn about him from the Vedic literatures in so many ways. There are many rules and regulations, one must follow them as prescribed by authoritative literatures. They can perform penances in accordance with those principles. Charity should be given to devotees who are engaged in devotion service. Then Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. If one worships as prescribed in the temple, that is a chance for progress. For the beginners, temple worship is very essential and it is confirmed in the Vedic literatures. So what is the fastest means to see Krishna? So one who has unflinching devotion service and is directed by spiritual master can see Lord Krishna by revelation. So one who does not take personal training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible even to begin to understand Krishna. See, is there any difference between personal forms of the Lord and universal form? The personal forms, the two-armed form and the four-armed form are completely different from the temporary universal form. See, universal form is temporary form. The four-armed form is Narayana and the two-armed form is Krishna, are eternal and transcendental, whereas universal form is temporary. So why did Arjuna request Krishna to display the universal form? So Sudur Darshan means difficult to see, suggests that no one saw this universal form before. And for the devotees, there is no necessity of seeing it. So this form was showed by Krishna at the request of Arjuna, because in future, when somebody says that he is an incarnation of God, people can ask him to show the universal form. So is there any significance in Krishna changing his forms? So Krishna changed from universal form to four-armed form to two-armed form. So to indicate that the four-armed form and other forms mentioned are all emanations of that original two-armed form. Krishna is the origin of all emanations. So Krishna is distinct even from these forms, not to speak of impersonal conception. So Krishna's individuality is expressed in many verses. Gopala Tapani Upanishad, Krishna vai paramam vaivatam. He is a person, his name is Krishna, and he descends sometimes on this earth. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sayam, Matta Paratram Nanyat, Aham Adir Hidevanam, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. These are various verses to show Krishna as an individual. See, universal form, original form of the Lord, and why it is displayed. So it is not the original form is Krishna's form. It is just to draw the attention of those who have no love for Krishna. The initial looking people, the universal form was shown as a display. Then how do pure devotees react to this universal form? The universal form is not attractive because they are in love with the personal transcendental relationship to the personal form in different ways. So Arjuna was related with Krishna in friendship. So his form of his relation with universal form was not pleasing, it was rather fearful. This form may be seen wonderful for persons who are involved in elevating by fruitive activities, but persons engaged in devotional service, the two-armed form is the most dear form. Like in one lecture, Prabhupada says, you have to submit, you have to render transcendental loving service. That is the way. Bhaktyas tu ananyaya means without any adulteration. And what is adulteration? Now I love God for some material benefit. I love God to become one with Him. This is adulteration. Devotional service will not help you. Unadulterated, ananyaya. Like in one more place in Uddhava Gita, again Krishna says, Kevalena hi bhavena gopyo ghavo naga mrgaha ye anye muda diyo nagaha siddha mam iyur anjasa. So gopyo ghavo naga mrgaha, all the moving, non-moving, gopis, cows, ye anye muda diyo nagaha, and even the snakes like Kaliya, the ticks and bushes, who are all living and non-living, everybody achieved. All the inhabitants, siddha mam, all achieved perfection. Kevalena hi siddha bhavena, simply by their unalloyed love for me. And they easily achieved me. Mam yur anjasa. Anjasa, very easily they were able to, because siddha bhavena, by simply perfection of life, by unalloyed love for me. It says, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahya shraddhaya atma priya satam bhakti punati mannista swapakan api sambhavat. So Krishna is saying, Atma Priya Satam, my devotee is very dear, being very dear to the devotees and sadhus. Shraddhaya Bhaktya Aham Ekaya Grahyaha, I am attained through unflinching faith and devotional service. Bhakti Punati Mannistaha Swapakan Api Sambhavat, even a person born in dog eater, Swapakan. Bhakti Punati, Bhakti will purify him gradually, increasing his attachment. Mannistaha. So that is to say, everyone can be elevated to spiritual platform by the process of Bhakti Yoga. The last verse in this chapter, all of you can recite. Mat karma krun mat paramo.
Mat karma krun mat paramo.
Mat bhakta sangvarjitaha.
Mat bhakta sangvarjitaha.
Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu.
Nirvairah sarvabhuteshu
Yassa mameti pandava.
Yasam eti Pandava.
Mat karma krun mat paramo.
Matkarma
Mad bhakta sangha varjitaha.
Madbhakta
Sanghavajitaha
Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu.
Nirvairah
Sarvabhuteshu
Yassa mameti pandava.
Eti Pandava.
So Krishna is saying, Mat karma krun, engage in doing my work. Mat paramaha, concerning me as a supreme. Mad bhaktaha, becoming in my devotional service. Sangha varjitaha, free from contamination of material activities or association. Nirvairaha, non-envious to sarva bhuteshu, all living entities. Yes, sa mameti Pandava, one can achieve me, O Pandava. So he's saying, my dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotion service, free from the contaminations of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. So Bhagavad Gita, for whom it is directed to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording over and who do not know of their real spiritual life. So purpose of Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the supreme spiritual personality, and to teach one how one can go back home, back to Godhead. The process is, which clearly explains by which one can attain success in spiritual activity, is devotional service. Then how to work? As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities. No work should be done by any man except in relation to Krishna. This is called as Krishna karmaha, mat karma kran. Then mad bhaktaha engages in my pure devotion service. So either perform all 9 or at least one, that will make his life perfect. Then Krishna karmaha means one may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. So example, one has to do his business for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for sense gratification, one can construct a nice temple for Krishna. One can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. One can cultivate a garden by growing flowers to offer to Krishna. Then Mat Paramaha, one who considers associate of Krishna in his supreme abode to be highest perfection of life. Not wish to elevate to higher planets like Svargaloka, Brahmaloka. Not even satisfied with the Brahma Jyoti, but only with the Krishna Loka, because he has full knowledge of that planet. Then Sangha Varjitaha means free from contamination of fruitive acts and mental speculation. So disassociate from persons against Krishna and Bhakti Yoga. Who are they? Atheists, fruitive workers, and mental speculators. So definition of pure devotion service from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu: Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, free from all material desires. Jnana Karma Dhyanavrutam, free from fruitive acts and mental speculation. Anukulya Krishna Anusevanam, thinking of Krishna and acting of Krishna. Krishna Anusevanam Bhakti Ruttama, accept favorable and reject unfavorable. A pure devotee does not even want Goloka, only wants to serve Krishna wherever he is. Then Nirvairaha Sarva Bhuteshu, he is friendly to all living entities, because he knows Krishna consciousness as the only solution to all problems. And he has personally experienced all this. Therefore, he wants to introduce Krishna consciousness in human society. They take risk to spread, like Jesus Christ or Prahlad Maharaj or Haridas Thakur. So Krishna conscious person knows the cause of suffering is forgetfulness of eternal relationship with Krishna. The highest benefit is to relieve the neighbor from material problems. And the conclusion, the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. So Krishna exhibits universal form which is temporary. That Kala Rupa which devours all, even Vishnu form which is four-handed, thus Krishna is the origin of all. So Krishna's form can be understood only by unalloyed devotees. So for a devotee, only Shyamasundara form is very important. And who can see the Lord? Eyes anointed with love of God. Premanjana Chirutaha. So this science is being taught by Krishna to Arjuna, and the whole activity is that if we engage ourselves as we find it. Now, this one verse is sufficient to teach the essence of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That anyone who is engaged in my work, mat karma kran, then what is that my work? My work is explained in the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya. Arjuna is taught, and with the example of Arjuna, every one of us is taught that we have to work only which is sanctioned by Krishna. So that is the mission of human form. But we do not know that, and because we do not know that, we engage ourselves with so much work which is concerned with the bodily or material conception of life. So mat karma krit, so one has to do what Krishna desires, just like Arjuna did. Krishna desired that he should fight. Arjuna did not like to fight, but Krishna desired, he accepted to fight. That is Krishna's word. That we have to select. So continuation. We have to work in such a way that we may not be entangled with this material bondage. So we have to perform our activities so nicely and so cautiously that I may not be entangled. I may be free even in this life. Now, what is the work at the present moment for us? Krishna's work. Krishna is not present now to dictate that, so this is my work. Just like Arjuna, fortunate enough. Krishna was personally present before Arjuna. Lord Krishna was personally present and he was directing. So, but does not mean that we have no direction. We have direction. In the Bhagavad Gita, you will find anyone who preaches the gospel of Bhagavad Gita to the people of the world, he is most dear, the dearest person in the world to Krishna. Krishna accepts him as the most dearest person. So therefore, our duty is to preach the principles of this Bhagavad Gita to make people Krishna conscious. People are suffering for want of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, each and every one of us should be engaged in preaching work of Krishna consciousness for the benefit of the whole world. So any questions? So, okay, thank you then. We'll again meet next week. We'll start with the 12th chapter. And Saturday is actually Gita Jayanti Day. Morning we'll be reciting the entire Bhagavad Gita. Evening 108 slokas will be recited. You can connect to the temple channel and you'll be able to recite along with us all the entire 700 verses. From morning 9 o'clock we'll start. And it may end by evening 5:30. The second half again 6 o'clock or 6:30 we will start. The 108 important slokas will be discussed in the evening 6 to 8 o'clock. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.